Hello, everybody. Welcome to Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols, your host, and as always, it is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Happy Sunday, you guys. I'm so glad to have you here on this very special edition of Palm Tree Sports Radio, guys. Quick overview of the show, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL, what's going on there. Bucks haven't played yet, but both of the other two teams played and lost. We'll talk about what happened there. Bucks play tomorrow. They got the Chiefs. Prime time Monday night. Second Monday night game in 2 weeks. Why? I don't know. We'll talk about it. College football. Crazy day yesterday. Crazy day. Miami stays perfect. The Gators almost pull off the biggest upset of the year, and FSU still sucks. But there's nothing we can do about that, guys. On the other hand, NBA is back in full swing, so we'll talk about what's going on with the Heat and the Orlando Magic. And then, of course, we will dive on into the NHL and the MLS and discuss what's going on for each of our teams there in soccer and hockey, respectively. But as I mentioned today, guys, this episode is a very, very special edition of Palm Tree Sports Radio. I do have my legendary co-host with me, my dad, as you guys can see right here. But he will be joining us this evening on Palm Tree Sports Radio. Get ready for that and so much more on this week's episode. Keep it locked here. Once we finish our intro, we'll get right into it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday, and I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Keep it locked here, guys. We'll be back in a few more moments. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols. That is
Ellis Pujols,
my old man, and welcome back to the show, guys. We're so glad to have you here this evening. We got a ton of things to talk about, so we're going to jump into things very shortly. A lot of NFL news, a lot as far as the two teams that did play today, and then, of course, what to expect for tomorrow night. We do have college football news. Again, we are going to be talking NBA, NHL, and the MLS shortly after that. But to get us started, let's go ahead and we have to go talk about our socials, all the places that you can reach us at. So, guys, to start off, if you are looking for the socials for the show, if you're looking for us on Twitter or known as X now, IG, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is that you're looking for, it's going to be at IE Sports Radio, you guys, at IE Sports Radio for all of our socials. That is the umbrella for the socials where you can find information on all the rest of the shows, including the website, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's going to be the place to look. If you guys are looking for the podcast, if you're looking for Palm Tree Sports Radio, if you're looking for any other shows, for instance, in the background, you guys can't see it, but I do have on Fast Break on IESR, guys. That's going to be the show with Davison and Detarius Locke. So I have their show on the background. If you're looking for any of those shows, this is going to be the place to, or any of these places will be a great place to find it. Anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Audio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Wherever you get your podcasts, if you're looking for our show or any other show, you'll be able to find it there, guys. For the hub, the universal hub for IE Sports Radio, IESportsRadio.com. That website has every bit of information you're going to need regarding all of the shows on our platform on IE Sports Radio, including my very own Palm Tree Sports Radio. For the website, IE Sports Radio /shop, guys, this is going to be where you find all of your gear, all of your apparel, t-shirts, hats. Of course, I have on my Super Bowl shirt from working the event because I did work the Super Bowl 55 event.
Yes.
Buccaneers won such a legendary, event. That was super excited to be able to work that event, guys. And then, of course, for this specific show, guys, it's going to be www.iesportsradio.com/Palm Tree Sports. That's going to be the direct link internet-wise over to my show with all the information to break down a little bit of information on who I am and what I cover here on this show. And then, of course, guys, if you are looking for the social for our very own Palm Tree Sports Radio, it's going to be at @palmtree_IE. The underscore, very important for the name, for it to pop up. That's what you're going to look for. That's what you're going to search for on any of your search bars for your social medias. Again, that's going to be X, or formerly known as Twitter, IG, Instagram, Facebook, all of the above. That's where you're going to find all of that information. But guys, we wouldn't be much of a show without our sponsors. So let's go ahead and that's correct. Let's get into a quick message from our sponsors. Our sponsors this evening are going to be Planet Jerky, the beef jerky that's on a whole nother planet, and Seal the Deal wax seals by our very own Cecilia B. So let's get a message in from them, and then when we return, we will jump right on into the show, you guys. So get ready, keep it locked here at Palm Tree Sports Radio, and we'll be back with you in about 2.5 minutes. All right, guys?
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
With there you go.
Where
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols, your host, and as always is brought to you and powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, guys. Welcome back to the show. As you guys heard earlier, my dad is here for the show. Welcome him to the show again. for the fourth time.
I think
believe
it's the fourth time.
It's the
First time on the live stream. Pop in the house.
Pop in the house.
Live and national.
Live and in color at that too, guys. Guys, we got a lot to talk about. You know, as I mentioned before, we have some information regarding the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jaguars, and the Miami Dolphins. We're going to get into all of that first and foremost. But before we dive into the show, one thing that I always like to do to start off the show is get over to the chat. We got a couple of messages here. Just want to point that out. Larry B, the legend, is in the house. What's up, my man? It's a pleasure to see you. Pleasure to always have you here. And I can't wait to get into what we have for the show for you guys. Again, have my old man here really helps bring out a lot more of that knowledge that we both possess in terms of sports, especially down here. Dad, you've been down here for 40 years?
Yes, been here since 74.
50 years?
Yeah,
50
years. September 15th.
There you go. So, yeah, 50 years.
Let me give a quick shout out to Larry B.
Yeah, go ahead.
And T-Rod. It was great being on your show a couple of weekends ago. That was a lot of fun and a lot of details. Good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Props. 3 and out, man. Great show.
Hell yeah. And you know, that's where a lot of the information that we can draw from, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
You can't say how many things that I've learned from Larry that I implement into my show. So shout out to you, Larry. Shout out to T-Rod, of course, who does a great job with both of his shows, of course. Yeah. And so just huge thank you to you guys. T-Rod, if you're out there, if you can hear us, if you join, shout out to you, bro. We love and appreciate everything that you guys do. And you know, it just makes it all that much easier and better to have my old man here on the show with me as well. And that's something that anytime I get the opportunity, anytime our schedules line up to be able to do this, we do it. So today was one of those days. And so here we are. So I actually can't wait to get into it. I know you're going to have some different vantage points to look at things, and I can't wait to hear that. I'm pretty sure the people would love to hear that too. And speaking of vantage points, this is an awkward one for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, so talk to me. But when was the last time that you saw a team lose both their starting receivers in the same football game? I mean, does that even happen? Exactly. Talk to him, Dad.
Okay. That was a very trying time. All right. Now, the Ravens, we like their tenacity and everything, you know, and my beloved wife.
Yeah, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
She loves those Ravens.
She loves her Ravens, especially going back to
Ray
days, big time.
Yep.
But there was definitely some dirty going on.
Agreed.
And
he got fined. Roquan Smith got fined $16,833.
$18,000.
Oh, they buffed it.
$16,866.
66. That's at 33.
Right?
66. Okay, gotcha.
All right. That was not enough.
It's not enough not to cost the Bucs their season.
Season's not over.
Season's over, in my opinion.
I'll beg to differ on that. We can talk about that later.
For sure.
But definitely losing Chris Godwin, who was leading the league.
He was the best receiver in the NFL, guys. He's the best receiver in the NFL at the time.
And it just feels like when that tackle occurred,
with 1 minute left.
Yeah. Under a minute to go. And it looked like it was a slide tackle.
Was
very much dislocated that ankle. They didn't bother showing a replay because it was that bad.
It looked like a break.
Yeah. And the fact that it wasn't broke was
that's
something
all gone.
else.
Yeah, that's all gone.
Yeah. So, but this is the second time now he's had to deal with a leg injury in his career.
A season-ending leg injury.
Yes, and that is just
second time in 3 or 4 years, I think it is.
You know, my heart and prayers go out to you, brother, man. You are a piece of work. You're an awesome guy, a Nittany Lion. And
we love Nittany down here, by the way. We
took it on the chin yesterday with OSU. It's like, oh gosh, I was really hoping Penn State would pull that off. I know. I'm sure Jen B's happy about it.
Shout out Jen B. We love you, girl.
Glad to do your show.
Just not Ohio State. We like everything else, just not Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else is good.
We're good. We're good. No worries. Much love. Anyway, but I've got a list of things here leading up to this game coming up for Monday night, and it's not going to be easy, but it's not impossible. Why do I
They could do
say
it.
that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why.
Let's see it.
Okay, yes, Evans is out until the bye week after week 11
Mm-hmm.
with his hamstring. Of course, we got Godwin out, dislocated ankle for the rest of the year.
That's right.
Greg Gaines, the nose tackle, will be out again with his calf injury.
And we need him because it's clear that defensive line has been missing in the run game.
Long snapper, Evan Deckers. Oh, don't get me started on long snappers when we talk to the Gators.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, hamstring injury also out. We got a bunch of questionables, but better news.
Mm-hmm.
Tyke Smith has been cleared from concussion protocol.
Big.
So he's questionable. Probably will start. It'll be my guess on that.
If he doesn't start, he'll find his way in at some point.
Yes.
The way this defense is
Antoine Winfield, who got robbed last week. Robbed. All right. Referees should go to jail. He knocked that ball out of Pitts.
Pause a second. Let's talk about it for a second.
Difference in the game.
So they had the pylon cam for the Jets-Texans game. Anybody else in the chat, guys, if y'all saw the Jets-Texans game, you guys saw 14 for the Jets. I can't remember what his name was, but homie dropped the ball crossing the goal line. And magically they bonehead play, but bonehead referees too, because they just exposed the rest of their refereeing crews because they had the pylon cam and sideline footage for that one, but they didn't have it for the Bucks Atlanta game.
And
now,
strangely enough, we see the picture after the game.
And not only do we see the picture after the game, but there's some logic to be used. There's actually just some forward thinking here because, guys, look, I want you guys to pay some attention. For anybody who ever just watched a movie or a TV show or anything and played a game in 3D, guys, when you turn, right, you see how my hands are going? It looks different, right? So when you look at Kyle Pitts, who we love, he's a Gator. Okay, we love Kyle Pitts. When you watch Kyle Pitts crossing the goal line, the ball, his hand that the ball is in, which is his left hand, is behind his back. It's not adjacent or in front, but it's behind his back. If it's behind his back and his forward leg has not broken the plane yet, what does that tell you? What do you think that means?
It's not even about where his body is.
It's
where
not.
The football is.
And the ball is behind his body, which has not crossed the goal line, which means it cannot be a touchdown. It can physically not be a touchdown. I want to point out for the record, the Buccaneers lost that game by 5 points. If you take that touchdown off the board, the Bucs win that game. The referees, I'm just going to call it. I don't care if you don't believe in conspiracy. I don't care if you think I'm using a conspiracy here. Before the season started, they had Atlanta winning the NFC South. Look who's atop the NFC South right now. And tell me, go back and watch those two games, the Bucs versus Atlanta. Yeah, go back and look at both of those Bucs Atlanta games, and you tell me what happened. Don't look at me and say, I see the score. I don't care what you see. Go look at the games.
Yeah, and it may sound like sour grapes to some people. And frankly, I don't care.
I want to see a fair game.
I want to see a game officiated right. I used to officiate softball games.
Surely did.
And men's league.
Friday nights.
Okay, and we got to make those calls, and especially those illegal pitches and all that other stuff. But this was clearly a fumble. It also rolled out of the end zone.
Which is a touchback.
Which means it was a touchback. Points not on the board. Bucks regained possession. That's a game changer.
Truly.
Okay?
That would have been Antoine's third one.
Yes.
And second against the Falcons in 2 years.
Should have been.
He does this. He knows what he's doing.
Yes.
I'm tired of the BS.
He was robbed.
He was robbed.
Yes, he was.
Man's playing phenomenal, and it's just ridiculous.
Let me finish off the rest of this.
Absolutely.
I know we got a lot to deal with here today. We got Sterling Shepard, hamstring. Yeah. Jalen McMillan, hamstring. Yep. Bucky Irvin, toe injury.
Yep.
And they're all questionable. Most likely will play.
I'm almost 100% sure Bucky's going to play. Yeah. I don't know if Sterling is going to play because he's had hammies before. And you know how it is when somebody has a reoccurring hammy like Mike Evans. You just don't want to get to that position where you're rupturing it. And Sterling Shepard has come a very long way this year in his short playing time with the Bucs. He's really emerged as a guy who can still go out there and get it done.
Absolutely. Welcome back, Hakeem Jarrett.
Thanks.
We're going to need you tomorrow night All right. And
For
you're
real.
capable. We've seen it.
Yes.
You are capable. Cade Otton's been doing a great job the last couple of weeks.
Who is this Cade Otten kid?
And
Jeez.
it's great to see the growth in Cade.
Yes.
And it's going to be interesting. We could have a battle of the tight ends tomorrow night with some guy. I think he's going like with somebody named Taylor Swift.
And I gotta admit, it's
Travis Kelce, I think.
I like
something like that.
I like the Chiefs better before all the cameras and the lights and the pictures and the flash bulbs. I like the Chiefs better then. I gotta admit, I do not like this divalicious team. It's giving Destiny's Child from '99.
And there's a lot to be said when the Chiefs come to town, because it seems like it's the Chiefs and the referees
versus the world
playing, and the opinions of a lot of people. And
it's true.
To nobody's surprise, really, that they're still undefeated.
You can do anything with the refs in your pocket. Bro.
Yeah, but let me give you some info here. All right, we've got defensive end Mike Dana, pectoral out. Cornerback Nazi Johnson with a concussion. He's out. He's going through that protocol process. Mahomes is dealing with an ankle issue. Okay. We've been through that one before. I believe it was during a Super Bowl.
39-1 or 31-9.
Yeah. Now the question is, what type of Mahomes will we have tomorrow night?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We don't have. I'm be honest.
Yeah.
We do not have that style of defense that we had at that time.
Nope.
But can we come up with the same type of game plan? It's very much possible.
I mean,
and if anybody's got something to prove, it's our beloved head coach, because he, being defensive-minded, has got to deal with this defense that has been underperforming of late.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's being nice. That's being nice.
So what he means to say is our defense sucks over the last 3 weeks, and there's no way in heaven, hell, that we're going to beat the Chiefs and the referees if they play the way that they have the last couple of weeks. We need that defense that played as physically as they did against the Lions to show up, but unfortunately we were full health at that time. We're close to full health at that time, and we are nowhere near close to full health any more than we were during that game now. Yeah. So they're going to have to come up with some type of game plan. JTS is going to have to wake up. Vita Vea is going to have to be Vita, and these edge guys are going to have to get home. At the end of the day, that's just what it comes down to. They're going to have to get home.
Yeah, and they're going to be out two other players that may be of significance. Juju Smith-Schuster, hammy.
A lot of hammies going on.
A lot of hammies going on. Oh, my goodness. Tight end, Jared Wiley. I guess he's a blocking tight end.
He's primarily a blocking tight end, but he's been out for a couple of routes this season.
Knee injury. He's out for the game also. Yep. So, it's possible that we can pull this off. It's not like we haven't beaten undefeated teams before. Something comes to mind.
Minnesota 15-1, and the one is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the record, guys, they should have won that Super Bowl. I think if they go on to play the Broncos in that Super Bowl, that they actually absolutely go crazy. Randall Cunningham, Chris Carter, Randy Moss. Those guys were just unbelievable that year. For those of you who are Minnesota fans, Sean, if wherever you're at, bro, that one was for you. Now F off and leave us alone. But but Minnesota was an example of that, and that was one of the times that the Buccaneers were actually able to defeat an undefeated team. I think they also defeated an undefeated.
They've done it this year because Detroit's only loss right now is to the Bucs.
That's correct.
And they're right now leading the conference.
They're probably the best team in the NFL, to be completely honest with you.
This team is capable.
Very capable.
Okay. We just need to gel together and get it done.
Yeah.
All right. I'm done with them.
Well, so that leads into the concept of tomorrow. Okay, so we've got Patrick Mahomes versus Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's been the better quarterback. Interceptions still. I can't look at Patrick and say that Patrick is playing football the way he did 2 years ago. Okay, I can't I can't look at him and say that. The Patrick that we saw 2-3 years ago he was doing stuff out of the video game that you couldn't even do in the video. Saquon did something like that today with the reverse hurdle. That was the kind of quarterbacking we were seeing from Patrick.
Was beast.
Wasn't it? If you didn't see it, go check that play out. Saquon Barkley we've been on him since college, right? Because he went to Penn State. So and for the record, just so I can prove my facts to you, he was the running back. Chris Godwin, the Buccaneers wide receiver, was wide receiver.
That's
right. The tight end was Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike Gesicki played for Miami, and I think he plays for the Patriots now or something like that. And then Michael Parsons came shortly after that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, that team was fully loaded. Great team. Saquon Barkley, great player. But if you haven't seen that play, go check it out. Reverse hurdle, absolutely amazing play.
That guy's on a vengeance tour right now.
Yeah, he is.
Especially after leaving New York. And as like whoever was going to get Saquon Barkley is going to wind up getting a leg up on the competition. Now, Philly's just kind of a little late starting right now.
Yeah, but they look good.
They're looking good. And when you have that two-headed monster of Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, you got pretty good there. And we'll actually be talking about the Eagles shortly too, but we won't go too far.
Surely. And to get to that point, and the point behind this was that Patrick isn't playing the way that obviously he's a little more settled. He's a little more comfortable than he was 2-3 years ago in the offense. And obviously he was comfortable then. But I think what I mean by that now is that he's a veteran of what they're trying to do with that franchise. And because of that, it's going to help propel him to greater success. The issue here is that Tampa Bay is no stranger to a dual threat quarterback, or nor are they strangers to quarterbacks that are very capable of sitting in the pocket and being strategic. We played against Drew Brees. We played against Michael Vick. It doesn't really matter. We can do both. The question is, will we? That's going to be the real question. Commitment at Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart said composure yesterday for Georgia in that game, which we'll talk about momentarily, guys. So I think that's going to be the key.
Coach.
We're gonna have that's gonna be the main segment tonight, guys. Just get ready for that.
I got something to say.
We both got something to say about that game yesterday. Especially if you didn't watch it. So get ready for a rude awakening if you thought Georgia was just gonna roll Florida, because they did not. Newsflash, they should have lost that game. But that's neither here or there. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, though, they're gonna have to figure something out, because regardless of what they do tomorrow night against the Chiefs, who are undefeated because they, again, have the help of the referees, not to mention they have a great team. They have a great head coach. They don't really need help. I think they'd still make the playoffs. They may not win the division, but they'd make the playoffs every year. But I think that they want this league to go through the Chiefs right now, because that's where the money's at. It's been where the money's at ever since Brady was ready to hang it up. And I think that's just one of the things that people don't take into consideration, is the market part. And I hate the fact that the market part has taken over, because it's money in rotation. But that's why the game tomorrow is important. But even more so beyond that, the Buccaneers will be playing the 49ers in their next game after the Chiefs. I just want to put that out there just in case you missed the next show. That game is going to be on Sunday, November 10th at 1 p.m. So the Buccaneers will be back on their regular scheduled programming at 1 p.m. This is the second Monday night game in 3 weeks. So just take that in consideration. The Buccaneers tend not to play well on Monday Night Football. Sunday night's a different thing. They play well on Sunday night usually. But Monday nights, the Bucks and Thursday nights, Monday and Thursday nights are just the bane of the Bucks' existence. They lose more games than they win on those days. You can go look at the math. So we're going to see what happens. It might be a strategic thing. The Chiefs seem to play well at night. They seem to win all their games at night. I mean,
all but one.
All but one. Right. But you guys get what I'm saying. So just keep that in mind for tomorrow night as the Buccaneers go. You heard the injury report from my dad. The truth of the matter is, are the Bucs going to be able to do anything with time of possession? Because the Chiefs now tend to hog time of possession by making good decisions with the football, which is what's been able to been their bread and butter this year. Mm-hmm. But the Buccaneers have also been a defense that has been at times very streaky and able to take the ball away at will. And if they can find a way to create turnovers against Patrick, if they can find a way to discourage him or get pressure on him consistently and take away the first and second option would be Travis Kelce and then whatever receiver they decide to call on for that week, the Buccaneers will find themselves in a dogfight late in the game, but they should be able to pull it out. I don't see this game going past the 10-point margin. I don't know who's going to win, so I'm not going to give you a score prediction, but I will say that I don't think either one of these teams push more than 10 points away from each other, barring some drastic injury. What do you think?
2 points.
2-point game? What do you think? A 29-27?
No. 2 factors.
Oh, 2 factors.
The difference in this game.
Okay.
Must penetrate through that offensive line of Kansas City.
Yes.
And pressure Mahomes.
Yes.
Yes, there's the specter of him with the escapability. But if that ankle is
bad
at 100%,
he ain't running nowhere.
he will not be as effective. Okay? And when that is the problem, there's a bigger tendency of him turning the ball over. Okay?
Agreed.
So keep that in mind, one. And number two, we've got to have some cohesion on this defensive secondary.
I'm not even worried about Baker.
Okay?
I'm worried about the defense.
Yeah. It really is going to be about the D in this game.
Yeah.
Okay? And D does their job, will win this game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go one step further. Could catch San Fran napping that Sunday game at 1.
Yeah. I mean, San Fran's not the same team that they were last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago either. Clearly Brock Purdy has a ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
The Shanahans are
You
wizards.
figured him out.
Well, I'll tell you who one of the first teams to figure out the Shanahans were. The Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Brock Purdy's first full start in the NFL, he had the what were they up 28 zip at halftime against us, and then you fast forward 2 years later, and they barely escaped with 10-point victory or something like that last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't
more competitive game.
Yeah, the Buccaneers definitely figured out how to beat but then that's just what we do. We've laid the foundations down for how to beat some of these teams. We've been doing it for 20 years, 30 years almost. Actually, now when you think about it, and so the Buccaneers have just as good a shot as any to beat the Chiefs. Just the question is, are we going to execute, and are the refs going to be a factor?
And you have a very interesting story that broke out, and of all people, your mother.
Yeah, she found it
with us yesterday.
She found it. Yeah,
and Nick Bosa may be in some trouble for some post-game antics that had occurred with a certain apparel on his head, which we won't mention what it was.
We all know what it is, though.
Okay, but he's definitely under investigation. We'll see what winds up happening with that, but I don't know.
Apparently, it's all in the family with them, but
it's all relative.
Yeah, it's all relative.
It's all relative.
Yeah, it's all relative.
There you go.
So just keep that in mind, guys, because if for some reason Nick Bosa ends up not playing, that's going to be huge for the Buccaneers, especially knowing that the Buccaneers are going to have to lean on that rush attack, and to be able to double up on a side that you don't have to worry about Bosa on is going to be something that's just absolutely, as music to our ears. So that's something else to take into consideration given the situation. Knowing what the Bucs are facing over these next couple of weeks, including tomorrow night. And so to put that into the dirt, guys, the Chiefs are 7-0. They're running this game undefeated streak, 7-0 for this Monday night ball game. The Buccaneers are coming in 4-4, same record that the 49ers have at the moment right now. So just do with that information what you will. But yeah, first game Chiefs, second game Sunday against the 49ers. So just get ready for that, guys. Now let's go ahead and move on. Let's get off of the Bucs, guys. Let's go on to the Jaguars. Jaguars, they're facing a different issue. They suck. They actually just legitimately suck, guys. I mean, we were talking about it earlier today. Jaguars lose this game 28-23. It was a lot uglier than that. The Eagles were up big, and then the Jaguars tried to make it a game, but unfortunately they could not close it out. I think they were more so making it a game because the Eagles were starting to let the game slip away from them. I don't really think that the Jaguars were doing anything very, very well. And what I mean by that is T-Law, all right? He goes 16 of 31, 169 yards, 0 touchdown, 2 interceptions. What do you want us to do with that? What do you want us to write home? And Mom, Dad, our quarterback sucks.
He did have 2 rushing touchdowns.
He had 2 rushing touchdowns, but that you're not a running back. Speaking of running backs, they don't have any running backs either, do they? Because neither one of these guys got above, what do you say, not above 25 yards?
No. Not above 25 yards.
Where's
24 yards
Jacksonville's
was the most.
Yeah, where's Jacksonville's rushing attack?
The heck's going on?
Who's supposed to help T-Law?
Hello, McFly.
Something. Yeah,
I literally have no offensive stats other than what T-Law did here.
that's the real.
I am not kidding you.
That's the real of it.
Right there, okay? Right there. Nothing. I got more stuff on the Eagles.
I mean, well, the Eagles, they have something to write home about, right? So, realistically speaking here, at the end of the day, it's starting to look like the Jaguars and the Florida State Seminoles are just the same football team, and that they just suit up in red one day and then tomorrow they go to green or something. Like, I don't know what's going on with these two franchises up there in Jacksonville and North Florida, but they're trash. They're just absolutely terrible.
We're definitely in the run for the number 1 draft pick right now.
Yeah, so I think right now they're number 2. But that's just right now, right?
Now,
like that's just right now.
It's still early.
It's still early. We got to do this when we say that. It's still early, but I just in the AFC South, where Indianapolis is a better team, where the Texans are a better team, where clearly the Titans are a better team, I don't know what to expect for this team. I can't keep seeing stat lines like this for T-Law. There was no rushing attack whatsoever. If the defense is bad, we'll never know it. You see what I'm saying? Because the offense isn't doing anything. So it's always going to start there. Regardless if you have defense or not, you got to put up points on offense. That's just what it comes down to. Teams in the past have made a year, made it to the playoffs, made it to Super Bowl, outpassing other teams, just outscoring other teams. Yeah. And this is an example of a team that cannot do either or. And to that, I'll say that if they want to find success, again, it goes back to what we talked about during the offseason. They're going to have to find an identity. If they don't find an identity, it doesn't,
Change the Jags.
Oh, yeah. So if they don't find an identity, it literally just doesn't matter. I hope that they do. I really hope that they figure something out. But for the time being, guys, I just don't see it happening. You said you had some information for the Eagles. Let's go ahead and hear about that real quick.
We'll make it real quick.
Yeah.
Because we don't normally. Yeah,
we don't like the Eagles, guys. We're Bucs fans.
I love their cheesesteaks.
Yeah. Philadelphia cheesesteaks, great. The city?
It's the city of brotherly love. It's got some sort of historical connection.
Only thing I like about Philadelphia is that the last game that was played at Veterans Stadium was the Buccaneers beating the dog crap out of the Eagles in the NFC Championship game in 2002. That's the only thing that I like about that city.
Jalen Hurts, 18 of 24, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That's a very Jalen Hurts performance.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. 1 touchdown to Devontae Smith.
Welcome back, Devontae.
Yeah, 4 receptions, 87 yards. And Barkley.
Saquon, say gone, baby.
Having a beast year. 27 carries, 159 yards, 1 touchdown. Also 3 passes caught for 40 yards and another touchdown. And a little love to Mr. Baron. The linebacker got an interception in that game as well.
Good job, defense, or Eagles defense, I should say.
Eagles are playing better. The Jaguars are not. Period. The end. What's next?
Period. The end. What's next is the Jaguars. The Jaguars are gonna drop to 2-8. That's what's next for them. They get to go see the 5-2 Vikings Sunday, November 10th at 1 p.m.
The sliding Vikings.
Sledding Vikings. They're not going downhill. They're just they'll go back up again.
After this next week.
I would like to think that the Jaguars have a chance after a spirited performance against the Eagles, but I have to admit, it feels a lot like the old Vince McMahon theme song. Was that No Chance in Hell? Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like there for the Jaguars. Fins.
Yeah, and Sean will be happier.
Yeah, Sean, you can you can find some happiness next week, bro. You can find some happiness next week. A team that is in the same boat as the Jaguars, also the Fins. Mm-hmm. Fins lost their game to the Bills 30-27, last second field goal to seal the deal, pun intended. For the Bills, I didn't see the Fins winning this match. But one thing that I will point out for the Fins, as they ride in here on a 2-6 record, the Bills with a 7-2 record, is that Tua after injury has been putting up some really good numbers. Okay, I have to give credit where credit is due, guys. So Tua, I'm still scared. I'm not going to tell you I'm not. All right, I'm not going to tell you.
Be a fool not to.
Yeah, I'm still scared, but I'm very impressed with what he's been able to do. They need a run. They need a rushing attack though. Like I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. They need a rushing attack. I think that's what would help lift them, above what they're experiencing right now. Again, at 2-6, due to the fact that Tua's injury took place when it did, it didn't really help anything. But to who it may concern, Tua Tagovailoa goes 25 of 28.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 incomplete passes. Okay,
That's
25
three.
of 28. Only 3 incomplete
Three.
passes. It's insane. He goes 25 of 28, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yes, the
Good game.
really good game.
Statistics.
If this was 1980, bro, you win. And you don't even care what the other team did. You just won that game. This is no longer 1980, all right? He just got outplayed. Josh Allen threw for more yardage. He threw the ball more, but
40 yards more, 235.
There you go, 235. He also, he had more attempts. He threw 3 touchdown passes to 1 interception.
Yes.
That ratio is going to be a little bit better than 2-0, especially if your defense is playing the way the Bills defense is playing right now, which is relatively good. Tua injury is still a good player. Is it enough? The answer is no. The answer is clearly no. The AFC East goes through Buffalo. It's going to continue to go through Buffalo. Yeah,
yes.
It's going to continue to go. I mean, Tom Brady's no longer there. You guys lost what was keeping the Bills at bay, and now we have returned to what happened in the early 1990s, which is the Bills run that division, and you gotta hope that another team comes out of nowhere. We thought it was going to be Miami, but it's clearly not going to be Miami. So,
it reminds me of that great philosopher Len Berman. Nobody rounds.
Yeah. I remember that from back in the day.
What is it? No one runs the wagons
around
like the Buffalo Bills.
Well, it's probably part of their heritage at some point in time. But I'll tell you what, though, they are going to have a game. I don't know if they can win the game, but they're going to have a game that they could possibly make some noise, and they're going to be playing the Rams Monday, November 11th at 8:15.
Interesting game.
That's going to be. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think this is to his 3rd game back, 3rd week of practice. I think he gets loose. I think that it's actually a shootout is what I think will happen. I think that in a shootout that Miami has as good a chance as any to beat any other team in the NFL. It just depends, again, on who they're playing against. They lost to Josh Allen, but I don't think that Matthew Stafford is as good as Josh Allen. Obviously, he's got more experience, but right now, if we're talking about who's the better quarterback, I'm taking Josh. We'll see what happens in that game.
Much more polished.
Seems to be.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a good game. I look forward to seeing what happens.
A couple of goodies over here for you.
Yeah, go ahead, slang it.
I get there. Just a couple of notes on that game. Arcane, the running back, 12 carries, 63 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Mostert, 10 carries, 56 yards. That's more than 50 yards. Jacksonville. Anyway,
that's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill for 80 yards.
Muff averaging 20 yards a catch.
And Arcane, 8 passes as well for 58 yards and a touchdown. So he had 1 rushing and 1 passing.
Yeah.
And Jason Bottle there got a touchdown, but he also got a left ankle injury. People thought it was a little scary. Probably limited him the rest of that game there. And Jalen Ramsey got an interception. So
what?
Even a Seminole can get lucky once in a while.
He's alive?
So, yeah,
what?
Apparently there is a Jalen Ramsey sighting.
There's a Jalen Ramsey sighting, but nobody knows anything about FSU or Jacksonville right now, huh?
And Josh Allen, you already heard, he's 25 of 39, 235, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 touchdown to Mr. Davis. They were all wide receivers, 1 Mr. Hollins and 1 to Mr. Morris. So good game by the Bills, very well controlled, and don't be too surprised if it's the Bills versus the Chiefs again in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
But I would love to be wrong. Pittsburgh, are you listening?
They maybe they're listening. I don't know if they're going to do anything about it. I think that's really what the question is, if they're going to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you noticed I throw some shade on Baltimore, and it's intentional.
Can't say I blame you. I've got plenty of shade trees, 4-yard, whatever you want to throw at them, we can do that. But you know what, guys, that's everything for the NFL for this week. Let's go ahead and get into our first break of the evening. When we get back, we'll jump into college football, talk about what happened with the Gators yesterday, and then roll down the line NBA, NHL, and MLS before I send you on your way. We send you on your way for a wonderful work week. But first things first, a break to get things started, and keep it locked here at Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols with
Ellis Pujols,
my old man in the crib, guys. Glad to have you here on this week's episode of Palm Tree Sports Radio. Keep it locked here for a few moments. We'll be right back, and we'll start discussing, I should say, everything else for the rest of
might be
show.
disgusted too.
We are disgusted. Very, very disgusted. But you know what, though? You know what's not disgusting? Our friends here at IE Sports Radio. A message from them coming right up.
Hey, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jen D, host of the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in live to the Show of the Land on Tuesdays, where we will cover the Cleveland Browns, Cavs, Guardians, and Monsters. We will also talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, Crew, Fury, and of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll also cover other colleges in the area like Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, Mount Union, John Carroll, Baldwin Wallace, Youngstown State, among others. So like I said, if you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in Tuesdays to the Show of the Land with Jen D on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff for my people on the 913 South. Come hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols with
Ellis Pujols,
my old man in the crib tonight, guys. Thank you for joining us here on Palm Tree Sports Radio. It's brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, guys. So normally we would jump right into the Gators. We're actually going to skip the Gators right quick and go straight over to the Noles. We're going to talk Noles in Miami first. There's a little bit less to talk about with them because we kind of know what to expect with these teams. So realistically speaking, to address the main issue and concern here for FSU, the bottom line is they're not playing football. They're doing something else.
What I got for FSU right here? Nothing.
That's what we have for FSU right
Nothing.
now. There's nothing for us to talk about. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have a system. They don't have a defense.
Football sucks university, FSU. Right?
There you go.
You prove me wrong, guys.
Prove them wrong, okay? Because realistically speaking, I don't know what you guys. I don't know what anybody wants from anybody at this point. But if you're watching FSU football, I encourage you to change the channel. Okay, that's my encouragement to you. Go watch Miami football. Hell, go watch Gator football. I've never seen. I said this last week. I'm going to say it again, Dad. I've been alive 30 years. I've been watching college football with you for about 26 of them. I've never seen FSU look this bad ever. I don't care if you're talking about when the Gators put a 52-20 beating on them in the national championship game back in 97. I don't care. This is not the same team. I don't care if you go to the early 2000s when they couldn't beat Tim Tebow and the boys. I mean, it's Percy Harvin, Jeff Demps, Chris Rainey, they had that touchdown maker, Dallas Baker. Like, I don't give a dang. I've never seen FSU play this bad before, and that's just what it comes down to, guys. For the record, FSU loses their games to UNC, University of North Carolina Tar Heels, 35-11. I don't even know how they scored 11. It had to be a safety and 3 field goals. But
It was a touchdown, 2-pointer, and a field goal.
So they got one of everything. UNC got like two of everything. What does it matter, right? So Noah's record 1-8. Could have been 0-8. I mean, I.
So that win was a fluke.
Were the 8 losses a fluke? I mean, so FSU looks terrible, guys. I don't know what to say. UNC was rocking a 4-4 record. They improved to 5-4, getting above 500 for the second time this year. Next game for FSU is going to be against Notre Dame. So 1-9 will be the record next time we check in with you.
You can forfeit if you want.
You can just not show up. There's a flight pattern that can just be delayed for a week. I mean, if you guys really want to do something productive, there are some areas in Florida still affected by Hurricane Milton. Notre Dame is rocking a 7-1 record. They're ranked 10th in the nation, guys. I don't see FSU doing much of anything in this ball game. This game ends ugly. It doesn't return.
Let me say one thing real quick before you move to Miami.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. I go back to FSU, back to the Bowden days.
Bobby Bowden.
Okay.
Best thing that ever happened to him.
Best coach they ever had. Best coach FSU ever had, Bobby Bowden.
Hands down.
Okay. Eric Purple Hayes.
Yeah.
Graduated the year after me out of King.
Uh-huh.
All right. Stellar career with FSU. Goes on to play for the Seahawks. Okay. Look, I love my Florida teams, except when they play Florida. But
yeah,
give me a reason to like FSU this year. I'm waiting and I'm not holding my breath. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it at that.
We'd be dead men if we held our breath for that long. They say Holt can hold his breath in outer space for 3 days, but FSU's been bad for 3 months. So like I don't know.
I mean they failed the Portal 101 class apparently,
and Miami
passed it with flying colors.
This is how you do Portal 101 class. So let's talk about it, right? So Miami, what are they? 9-0,
number 4 team on the AP poll, and the first playoff poll will be out Tuesday.
Yes, and I think they're all but guaranteed a spot. Pretty much what happened, regardless of what happens the rest of the year.
They're almost in coast mode now.
Yeah, they're almost in coast. So here's the deal about Miami. Miami best team in Florida right now. Took great advantage of the portal, as Dad mentioned a few moments ago. Brought in a lot of players. Cam Ward looks like a Heisman. If you take Travis Hunter out of the equation, in my opinion, Cam Ward's Heisman Trophy.
I don't think he's getting enough talk for a Heisman.
Well, he was a 0-star recruit coming out of high school.
I think that in itself is worthy of a story of a Heisman. Just 0-star recruit comes over here and puts up stellar numbers. For the Canes.
For a team that we thought was dead.
Okay. It's like there's been a resurrection. Okay. All right. I'd much rather see this Hurricane than Milton or Helene or anything else. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're playing good ball. I think at times, okay.
They have the top offense in the NCAA.
I think at times the board. I think they're a slow starting team that rallies late and makes things happen. But when you get to playing the more stout teams,
the Clemsons and
Clemson lost yesterday, so who knows if they're going to be playing them.
I'm trying to avoid just using all the SEC teams.
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting going on, but Miami's looking really good right now. The top 4 power rank conference teams get a bye in the first round.
Miami's going to get that bye.
It's looking good for them. They just need to play 4 quarters of controlled football. You cannot be bored and just be a little lackadaisical. Maybe you went out and partied at Miami Beach a little too much, the night before.
Well, we didn't get hit by the hurricane.
I don't know, but you're a good team.
That could be better.
that can be better.
Yeah.
And Cam Ward and Xavier
Restrepo, oh
who
my
should get
God.
the top award for receiver.
He's the best receiver in the country.
That joker is
Dude's crazy.
mad awesome.
Dude is crazy
Okay.
good.
I'll give you flowers, brother.
Seriously.
I give you flowers.
Restrepo,
Cam and Xavier.
Yeah.
Okay, get flowers.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right, but yeah, I mean, we gotta play a full 4-quarter game. Mario Cristobal's done an awesome job
Turning that
those
franchise around.
Yes, absolutely, especially from what it was last year to what it is this year.
I agree.
And I'd given him an argument for Coach of the Year right now. An argument for it.
I'm really thinking about who else could fit that description right now, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I just don't see.
Outside of possibly Oregon.
Here's the thing about Oregon. Oregon is another one of those teams that really took advantage of the portal.
Mm-hmm.
They did a good job. They only lost guys that they could replace, and they replaced guys that they weren't sure if they could replace them. Oregon's the team to beat this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what it is right now. If you came to me before the season, I would have said it was going to be Texas or Georgia. I was incorrect. We weren't sure if Penn State was going to be it this year. They're not it this year. They couldn't beat Ohio State again. You know what that means on a year where they can't beat Ohio State? They're not going to make much noise, regardless of how well they do in their other games. Miami's best team in college football. Cam Ward might be the best quarterback in college football right now. In my humble opinion, I'll be 100% honest with you, I think Miami should be ranked 2. I think Miami should be ranked 2 behind Oregon. That is my belief. I think that an undefeated ACC Miami team wins over Florida, wins over they just beat Duke handily, man. Let's talk about that for a second. So they beat Duke 53-31. Of course, Duke didn't just lay down. Duke does have some good players. They lost their great quarterback to Notre Dame last year, but they do have some pieces that can play football, and they gave Miami a good game, but Miami really started to pull away there and later in the second half. Like you said, they need to play 4 quarters of football. We've seen them start slow. We've seen them end bad. In the middle, they're pretty good for the most part. The second and third quarters is kind of their money-making time. But realistic, if they could play 4 quarters, there's no telling what this offense could do. There's no telling how good the defense could be at that point too. To see 31 get hung up on them by Duke is a little questioning. Like it makes you look at the team and say, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" But
were you playing backups or what was going on?
Right. Well, because there weren't much traffic. There weren't much traffic in the fourth quarter. A lot of that damage was done in the second and third quarter by Duke as well. So we'll see what happens. Great job, Miami. Next game they're going to play is against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's rocking a 5-4 record. They're above 500, so that's something to pay attention to. Miami.
Was that the Georgia Tech team that beat FSU in Ireland?
Yes, that was first game of the season. Yeah. I remember that.
I vaguely remember.
Oh man.
I don't think I had a pint that day.
It was a shot. It was a shot. It might have been 2 shots. A dirty martini. So. You guys get the idea. Miami's most likely going to win this game, but this game's coming to you Saturday, November 9th at 12 p.m. Guys, early start time. No need for a late start time. Miami grabs this game. 20-point victory is my opinion on it. I think that Georgia Tech has a good team, but I don't think that they just have too many holes in certain areas, especially on defense, that Cam Ward will just be able to exploit. You guys know how he likes to break the pocket and sling it downfield, and that's something that Georgia Tech has not done well against this year. Georgia Tech they'll put up a fight, though. I think they make the defensive game. It could be a 13-point ball game, but I think they clear this by 20. And I would say the score is probably going to be like a 45-28 kind of ball game, maybe 45-20 ball game, depending on how the defense plays. That's where I'm looking at for that score of that game. But, guys, that's it for Knowles and Canes. We got to talk Florida football, guys. We got to talk Gators. Okay. I know you have something you want to say.
Oh, boy, do I have something.
I'm going to say this, and then I'll piggyback off what you have to say. Georgia. If DJ Lagway doesn't get injured, Georgia loses that game.
Absolutely correct.
That's the first point. The second point, referees. I don't know what the problem is. And I don't give a I don't care what the problem is. I don't care if it's Vegas. I don't care about. Listen, we want to see fair football. Okay, we want to see fair football. If you guys are not going to call the game fair, out of town. FOH. Okay.
I don't know how many times they showed plays of dirty plays by Georgia in that game.
Didn't we watch
punching a player in the helmet and getting away with it? A number 3 guy.
Frazier Jr.
Yeah.
So Frazier Jr. Just wanna throw this out there. You're a nasty human being. You will get yours, and when you get yours,
it'll be like another Frazier when Ali knocked him down. Down goes Frazier.
You will get what you deserve. We don't feel bad for you.
And you will lose another game, and you probably won't be in the mix.
Because let me tell you guys, if you watch that Florida-Georgia game, there was one thing that was clear, and that was that Florida was the better team that night.
Let's say one. Well, I got to get this off my chest.
Go for it. Go for it, and I'll go on the back end. Go ahead, shoot.
DJ got hurt, but
late second quarter.
A couple of plays before, DJ did a rollout to the right side. And before he went out of bounds, a Georgia player slid down and tackled him over his legs.
Out of bounds.
Okay, no flag. He got up. Even if he had tweaked it, he wasn't getting out of that game.
So real quick. We were on the phone watching the game live at the exact same time when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. I try not to pay too much attention to it because DJ's a big guy. He's a bigger 6'2" in person than he is listed.
Mm-hmm.
But Dad pointed that out. He pointed out, he said, that was not a comfortable looking fall. I think DJ might be a little hurt. He's probably not showing it because of the adrenaline and the game state and whatnot, but he looks like a little bit hurt. Go ahead and continue on.
Then you got a couple more plays later.
2 plays later.
He's trying to make a cut on a run, and down he goes, and he grabs that leg
immediately.
And it almost reminded me of what happened with Mike Evans. They have not specified if it was a torn hamstring or anything. They're saying that he's out indefinitely still, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and
it's a week-to-week basis, but indefinitely.
It was definitely a turning point in the game. They were ahead 10-3, and they were moving the ball, and
they were approaching scoring position.
Beck was handing out Christmas presents like there was no tomorrow,
like the Christmas on 25th. Huh?
Yeah, and he had thrown 3 interceptions in the course of that game, and
third time this year he's done that, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And if Lagway doesn't get hurt, I think Florida runs away with this game. And it's unfortunate. And it wasn't just Lagway that got hurt. A lot of defensive players got hurt, And
well, let's talk about that for a second.
Go with that. And then I want to talk about the other quarterback too.
So the the Gators, before that game started, were already down their starting quarterback, their starting number 1 receiver, starting number 1 running back, starting number 1 cornerback. Okay? Number 1 quarterback, number 1 running back, number 1 wide receiver, number 1 cornerback. All injured before the game. After the game, second string quarterback injured, third string cornerback injured, first string safety injured, second string defensive lineman injured, second string offensive lineman injured.
Yeah, they were way down on the depth chart.
We were in 5th man up in certain areas, such as defensive back.
Next man up.
And the Gators were defeated. And I want to point out all of the factors. So first factor, all right, was the injury to DJ Lagway. That's the first factor. Okay, understand this. The other 3 factors are not factors if DJ stays healthy in this game. Because DJ was carving up that Georgia defense. He looked good. Okay. That's the first thing. Second thing, referees. Referees did not call a fair game. Don't take my word for it, but understand this. When I tell you that it's not a fair game, I'll give you an example. Earlier this year, the Gators played against
Tennessee.
Not Tennessee. They played against Miami.
The first game, yeah.
Fair game. I had no issues with the referees during that game.
Hated the score, but it's fair game.
Hated the score. Miami just can't. Look at Cam Ward. He's 9-0. He's Heisman Trophy number 1 and number 2 ballot. I don't care which one he's flip-flopping with Travis Hunter. Go back, look at the game. Now go back after that game and go back and look at the Gator-Georgia game. Like you said, Frazier Jr. punched a Gator in the face. Okay. 58 for Georgia, 68, 58, 68. One of those two guys had the guy in the rear naked choke like this.
Yeah, what's up with that? Looked like he was trying to put him to sleep.
Twice. And I'm just going to let you know right now, I'm one of those guys. I understand that they say that, like, you know, like it's a physical game, but you're here to do a job. And when you go out of that realm of that job, like if we're going to use BJJ, we can do BJJ. I practice don't I? I study BJJ. We could do BJJ. I could go down and break your arm for you. I could do that for you. That's not a problem. The problem is that's not what we're doing here. So I really don't enjoy how the referees will call holding on Florida, and it was a pity pat call. There really wasn't holding. You could say that there was holding, of course, but at that point you could call holding on every play. To where you got this dude and you're choking him out, and they don't call it. Or you put the guy down like your Triple H to tombstone him or something. You know what I'm saying? A pedigree. This is not WWE. I don't want to see WWE in college football. So referees get better. We know y'all want Georgia to win. We know this. Look, we're not stupid. We know where the market is at. We understand that all roads lead through, you know, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Oregon, Ohio State. Like, we know y'all are going to front load these teams. We know that. But can you at least call a fair game? If you're going to make questionable calls, can you not make them on questionable plays? Can you make them on plays where they actually did something wrong? Because it's not fair. It's not a fair game. What we're watching is frustrating. It makes me not want to watch the game at all. If I want to watch somebody get cheated, I'd watch cheaters. There's a whole TV show about it.
Sure is.
So if DJ Lightweight doesn't get injured, Gators win that game. Secondly, referees got to call a fair game. Thirdly, Billy Napier, barring 3 or 4 calls throughout that entire game, I can't fire you after that performance. If I'm the University of Florida, I cannot get rid of you because you just showed that you can defeat the number 2 team in the country if your guys stay healthy. Yeah.
I have to say something about that.
Go ahead.
Okay. Aiden Warner comes into this game totally in a situation where the game plan was set up for DJ Lightweight.
100%.
They are 2 completely different styles, but next man up mentality. Okay. His story is amazing in itself. All right. Transfer from Yale. He came back home. All right. When he came back to try to get in with the Gators, Yale said that he had a MCL injury, and he did a performance tape, and the Gators liked him. They came in and did a physical. You know what they actually found about him? It was an ACL. He wound up doing that practice video for the Gators with an ACL injury.
That's insane.
Okay. Florida took care of him, got him righted, let him come on as a walk-on, and there's no way he thought he'd be stepping into this game against the number 2 ranked team in the country. And when you consider he was, 7 of 22, 66 yards.
That interception.
Okay, that interception was late in the game.
Yeah, the game was over pretty much by then already. Yeah, honestly.
But he engineered a drive after Georgia had kicked the field goal to make it 10-3, and they kicked the field goal to make it 13-3, I think it was, just before the end of the half.
That's correct.
Okay. And then when Georgia took the lead 20-13, they engineered a drive again.
Surely did.
Scored a touchdown. It was tied 20-20 with 7:49 left in the game.
That's correct.
This team did not give up. Credit to the coach for tenacity, for trying to find a way to make it work.
For calling a great game.
He called
4 bad calls.
Game. Yeah.
That was it.
I hear the rumor mill saying he's got to win against one of these other ranked teams if he's going to wind up keeping his job.
He's got to get to a ball.
Okay. I said it in the beginning of the year. He has to win 6 games.
He's got to get to a ball game.
Okay. Some people may now say FSU may be questionable now with depending on how long DJ is out. If he's out 4 weeks, they're already 4-4. That 12th game will be FSU.
Yeah.
Okay. He may not be available for that game. So the question is, can we get Aiden Warner set up and going to win that? Even if they win that, that's only 5. They have to win one of these other games that are left over against our ranked opponents upcoming.
And it's not going to be the next one. I can personally guarantee you
Texas.
We're not beating. So around here, we love Texas. Okay.
All right.
We love Texas. Been Longhorn fans for a long time. I think I've been watching them for a very long time. We've always wanted the Red River rivalry to come to the SEC. For those of you who really watch a lot of college football, Oklahoma, Texas is one of the greatest rivalries in all of college football history and all of college history. We always wanted that here in the SEC. We always felt like that the SEC reached out far enough to Texas. We have Texas A&M, of course. So getting them over here was just an absolute monument for us. We love Texas. Like I said, as Gators, we hardly ever cross paths. So it'll be great for these two to cross paths. It's going to be a heartbreaking game to watch next week. Texas is just a different animal right now. They've got 2 really good quarterbacks that can sling it around. The Gators defense is going to be subject to a very hard game next week against a very physical Texas team. That game's going to be Saturday, November 9th at 12 p.m. Texas coming in, riding a 7-1 record. Yes, the Gators played very well against Georgia, but that's a rivalry, and that's a team that we see every year. This is going to be our first time seeing Texas in an eon, it seems like. I can't tell you the last time Texas or Florida hooked it up.
I have no recollection.
It's been a long time, guys. I believe it's happened a few times. I think 3 times before, but
not too many. Probably count them on one hand.
And I think Texas won all 3. So just do with that information what you will. I'm going to go double back and make sure the information is correct. But this time we'll be next week we'll be having the same conversation about what happened with against Texas. But this time we're not going into the game with not that we don't have belief. Yes, we have belief and hope, but we're not going to put any chips on the table for this game.
I would say this is a chance to try to build up on getting an effective offense going around.
Yes,
Aiden Warner.
Yeah.
And the defense coming up with their best game plan to deal with the situation they're currently dealing with.
Yep.
All teams have weaknesses.
That's correct.
Okay. If you can exploit the weaknesses in film study, it'll force them to do something that they don't normally do. And not most of the time will create situations for turnovers.
So for Texas, the answer to that question is their starting quarterback, Ewers. So
who's coming back from injury.
Ewers is, once he gets rattled, he is a shell of himself. The problem is with that concept is they got Arch Manning in their back. Arch Manning is not like Ewers. Arch Manning does not get rattled. He doesn't feel the pressure. He just balls. I mean, look who his family is. Peyton, Eli, Archie. These guys are ballers, and he's got it in him, and he's gonna be the next. He's gonna be the next big thing. Mm-hmm. If the Gators want to win, it's gonna have to be in the trenches, as always. They're gonna have to win at the line. If they can win at the line and create turnovers in the secondary, we have a ball hawk secondary. We just saw that last night. That's what it's going to take to win. If they can't do that, then there's nothing they can do. Regardless of how the offense plays or not, the defense is going to have to come out. They're going to have to stifle that Texas rushing attack and find a way to slow down Ewers. And then if Arch Manning gets in there, if they're able to do that, Arch Manning gets switched, you're going to have to do the same thing with him. That's really the only way to win. And don't let Arch Manning go get crazy with his legs because he's got wheels. Carson Beck.
Scary cat.
He was a scaredy cat, guys. That's another reason why you guys got to go back and watch the game. At one point in time, you could see him damn near trembling. Okay, you guys, I encourage you guys got to go back and look at that game. All right, Georgia's not for real. Georgia is not for real.
They will lose another game.
They will lose another game, whether it's in the playoffs or the regular season. Guys, Georgia is not for real. Some teams are going to go back and they're going to look at what Florida did. And somebody's going to figure it out. I'm telling you right now. It might be Oregon. It might be Bama. Obviously, it could be Texas. Any of those teams are more than capable of dealing with Georgia, especially after the tape that the Florida Gators put up yesterday.
I mean, we just helped them all out.
Florida discovered it.
Every time he scrambled out of the pocket, he was not effective. In fact, it was the opposite. He was negative, throwing those interceptions.
Yeah, so into triple coverage twice.
Yeah, and he's definitely got an issue on that. And I'm sure, knowing Kirby Smart, he'll work on doing that and trying to be a little bit more effective, protecting him with a pocket and all that. But this guy obviously can be rattled.
And if you can be rattled, you can be cracked. If you can be cracked, you can be defeated. So Georgia's not for real. Shout out Mr. Marshall Jr. for doing the Gator Chomp throat slash.
Yeah.
F you, sir.
Yeah.
F you. Not UF. F you. Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
An idiot. Felon.
Yeah. You're an idiot, sir. You're a pathetic idiot.
And
okay?
half your team's felons.
Yeah, and you play on a dirty team. Okay, y'all some dirty people on a dirty team.
Anyway.
So Georgia, if you don't like it, there's a wall, there's grass. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Okay. You can argue it one, touch the other, or jump off a bridge for all I care. But I don't want to hear it. That guy's a dirty guy. He's a nasty guy. If he does that stuff in the NFL, he will not have a long career. If he makes it to the NFL, I don't know.
Kirby's credit,
great coach.
He did
great coach.
Get on him. His face was red.
Kirby. If y'all did not see it, it reminded me of when what's his name did that. Mr. Taylor did that for the Gators a few years back when McElwain, whatever his name was our head coach, and he just McElwain, and McElwain was on the sideline and he was feeding him hot sauce.
Sure did.
Straight hot sauce. So shout out Kirby Smart, bro. You are a Georgia great on the defensive side of the ball, and you are a great coach for them. I give you credit. I'm not a fan of yours, but I'm just giving you credit where credit is due. And good job.
Give flowers.
Yeah, good job for putting him in his place and discipline him properly, because we're sick and tired of the disrespect. Because we could have just jumped his behind outside if that was the case. Like if that's really where things were headed.
We can't do it. Nobody else should be doing it.
And we didn't do that to them. Right? We didn't do that to the Georgia Bulldogs where we were like doing all throat slash and all. We learned our lesson. We didn't do that, so don't do it to us. That's it, guys. That's it for the NCAA. Let's go ahead and get into our second break of the evening, last break of the evening. When we get back, we'll finish things up with the NBA, NHL, and MLS, and then we'll send you on your way with some food for thought. I know we're running a little bit longer than we normally do, guys, but we'll breeze through the second part, and like I said, we'll get you guys on your way. But thank you for having it locked here at Palm Tree Sports Radio.
Having a great time, man.
Great time. great. Always a great time. But like I said, guys, keep it locked here at Palm Tree Sports Radio. It's powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Like I said, we'll be back in 2 minutes, all right?
The light is red, the kids are in bed, which means it is time for Mile High Musings with me, Aaron Yowell, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to Palm Tree Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols, and that is
Ellis Pujols.
My old man is in the building today, guys. I really hope you're enjoying the show up until this point, guys. And now we are going to start to kind of accelerate here in the second half of the show, guys. So we're here.
Round.
Yeah, speed round, if you will. So we're here to talk Magic and Heat, guys. We're going to talk Magic first, just due to the fact they have one more outstanding detail, and then we're going to go into the Heat. So for the Magic right now, the Magic rocking a 3-3 record. They were getting their behinds handed to them by the Mavs, 73-49, with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter was the last time I saw it. Yes, if you want to go check that out real quick. Mavs rocking a 3-2 record. Not looking very good for them. Next game for the Magic does not get any easier. If they lose this game, they could quite frankly go down 3-5 to start the season, which would be kind of underwhelming for them given how well they played last year. But all this behind Paolo Banchero's injury, which has him out indefinitely, guys. That's right. The best player for the Magic is hurt right now, and due to that fact is probably why we're experiencing what we're experiencing as far as the Magic output skill-wise. But like I said, things do not get any easier for them as they go see the OKC Oklahoma City Thunder, who are currently 6-0. That game's going to be tomorrow at 9:15 p.m. But, Dad, what do you have right there for the
we
stats?
have a final.
Okay.
Also, the Mavericks beat the Magic 108-85.
They were never able to get back within striking distance there.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And things were starting off so well, for them. Paolo had a 50-point game in that win over the Pacers, 119-115 on Monday.
Massive game.
Then on Wednesday, that's when he goes out with that torn oblique. He's out indefinitely. Still tried to make a game out of it, but lost to the Bulls, 102-99.
Real quick, torn oblique for the record, guys. That's not an injury that you hear very often. It's a serious
More
injury.
common lately too.
Yeah, more common lately, right? But if you go back 10 years ago, this is not something that you saw often.
Last year.
Yeah. And so I say that to say that with those injuries, that's one of those injuries that you really can't put a time frame on it. You can say 6 to 8, but 6 to 8 can quickly turn to 3 to 4. Okay. It's torn. So it's there's gonna be a lot of physical therapy, for something like that. Not, you have surgery, physical therapy follows right afterwards. But indefinitely is a time frame for Paolo. Definitely is a time frame.
I was just looking it up over here under torn oblique. It says here most athletes can resume sports 6 to 12 weeks after surgery. So this is gonna be a good minute.
Yeah, and like I said, at first you might hear. You might hear that 6 to 12, but that 6 to 12 is the average, right? That's not a guarantee. That means that there will be situations where it could go from 6 to 8 to 3 to 4, and you go from weeks to talking months. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's not like a 6-month thing, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So.
And of course, you already talked about playing the undefeated Thunder tomorrow night.
They got a good squad.
Yeah, very good squad.
They got a really good squad.
They're in OKC right now. Wednesday, they have the Pacers again. And we got the Pelicans, New Orleans Pelicans, there on Friday. So that's it for the Magic. You want to talk Heat?
So real quick with the Heat, just FYI before I let you carry this, Heat coming into this game. The last game they just played actually coming in 3-2 record. They beat the Wizards 118-98. The Wizards are rocking a 2-3 record, so both of these teams have the exact same record when they come into this game. And then after that, they're going to go see the Kings. Kings playing relatively good basketball. They're 3-3 right now, but they're in a 3-3 very competitive West right now. That game's going to be tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. What do you got for them?
No, just a little quick review here. Monday, they beat the Pistons 106-98. On Wednesday, they lost to the Knicks 116-107. Yesterday, they had a win over the Washington Wizards. It's at 118-98. Okay, you already mentioned Sacramento on Monday. Wednesday, they have the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And Friday, it's the Denver Nuggets.
So they've got 3 Western Conference teams that are all playing very well at the moment right now. So this is not going to be an easy stretch for Miami. I was listening to Fast Break with Davison and Locke, and they mentioned the same thing. It's going to be it's a very competitive West this year. It's going to be really hard for this team to figure out what they can do to be successful against the West. But if they're going to figure it out, now's the time to do it. I mean, better now than late, because if it's late, it's probably too late in the NBA.
Yeah.
So
And right now, I mean, the Heat definitely have a leg up on the Magic, considering what happened to Paolo.
yeah, and they've got some guys playing well right now. They've got to get their stars back in position to be stars again, but they can find some success down there in Miami. I just hope that they do it sooner than later. Like I said, these 3 games are going to be tough in the West right now.
Yeah, very tough.
All right, so as we continue to move on down the line, a little Bolts action. If you get where I'm going with that. So Bolts lost to the Jets 7-4, just playing some of the best hockey, had the best record in the NHL right now. They're 11-1, sitting atop their division. Bolts rocking a 7-5 record, good enough for second place in the Atlantic behind the Florida Panthers. We'll talk about the Panthers in a second. Next game for the Bolts is going to be against the Blues. They're at a 500 record, rocking 6-6. That game's going to be Tuesday, November 5th at 8 p.m. I'm going to try to watch that game myself. We'll see what happens. Hopefully our boys play to show up. Vasilevsky's looking like the best goalie in all the NHL right now. Hopefully he can continue to do that. Aside from this 7-point giveaway that they had, otherwise they would have won this game, but these games take place. They happen all the time. The Jets were the better team that evening, but I don't know if they're the better team overall. As time continues, we will see what happens, but
Sorry.
you're good. Good job, Jets. Bolts, we're just going to have to figure it out, but it seems like we started this way for the last 2 or 3 seasons anyhow, so let's just see if we can build upon that, and hopefully we can keep up with the Panthers and not let this division run away. For the Panthers, they're rocking a 9-3 record, good enough for best in the Atlantic, one of the best records in the entire NHL. I think they're the 3rd best record in the NHL right now. They beat the Stars 4-2. The Stars rocking a 7-4 record over on the West side. So this team's playing very, very well. Always glad to see the Panthers playing well, especially after they were able to get their Stanley Cup victory last year. We're going to see if we can keep the Stanley Cup here in Florida, whether it be the Bolts or whether it be the Panthers, but only time will tell. And as for their next game, they're going to be playing the Predators. That game is going to be Thursday, November 7th at 7 p.m. So
Nashville Predators?
I think it's Nashville. It's East Coast. Yeah, I think it's East Coast.
Isn't there some former Bolt that
some guy,
some Stamkos dude,
some Steven
Stamkos, I think his name.
Miss him, bro. Miss him a lot.
Yeah.
Miss him a lot.
Yeah.
So 4-6 be the record for the Predators. We'll see how that game goes. I mean, best of luck to both of our teams, and hopefully they can both pull out a win. Of course, Panthers are playing really good right now, so hopefully they can continue to do that. And if they can, we'll be good to go. We'll be good to go, guys. Let's go ahead and slide on into the MLS, guys. Let's talk about what's happening there, guys, with Inter Miami. So Inter Miami, they lost their game against Atlanta United.
What?
That's what I said. They lost their game against Miami United 2-1. So they're going to go to a game 3, and may the best team win. I obviously think it's going to be Inter Miami, but they're going to have to play very, very well. They're going to have to show up. Messi's going to have to show up. Our boys are going to have to put in some overtime. Atlanta shows that they're not going to go laying down, and shout out to Atlanta for not going down.
Yeah, credit given.
Credit big given to them. Late goal shocks the Inter Miami into a 2-1 deficit. Didn't see that coming. I'll be honest. Didn't see that coming. I thought they were going to 2-0 Atlanta, but we'll see what happens.
It might be the best thing that ever happened to them then.
Could be. They could use a little bit of fire. They've been coasting for the last 6 weeks or whatever. Yeah. So,
but it's always dangerous when you got a team that's, that definitely do that.
Yeah.
Which we'll be doing a shout out shortly on somebody that did.
That's correct. And we will, I can't wait to talk about that. Shout out 20. We're going to get to you in a second. Next game for them is going to, again, Atlanta United game 3, Saturday, November 9th at 8 p.m. Get ready for that game, guys. Go Inter Miami. That's all I can say. Messi, boys, time to pull out this W, move on to the next round, and let's hopefully capture this title here. Now, for the other team here in Florida playing Major League Soccer is going to be Orlando City. Orlando City actually suffered the exact same fate that Inter Miami did.
Incredible.
It is incredible, right? So they win the first game against Charlotte, lose the second game. This game they lost against Charlotte, though, guys, was via penalties, right? So they went into OT. It was full time, right? 0-0 ball game. Orlando City had or not penalties, my bad, but they lose a subcategory 3-1 to Charlotte there, which is going to lead to their game 3. That game is going to be Saturday, November 9th at 6 p.m. Winner take all again, and then they will move on to most likely play the winter soldier.
Chilling.
The winner, no pun intended. the winner of Atlanta Inter Miami. So guys, get ready for that. All roads lead hopefully through Miami, but we will see Florida both in the running for both of their teams.
Yes.
So good job, Inter Miami.
For
Good.
both of them.
That's correct. Come on,
Correct.
boys. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home. So that's it, guys. That's what we have going on there for as far as Florida sports is concerned. But we do have a special shout out to my birthday 20. And Dad, I'm gonna let you go ahead and mention that part. But shout out 20. I love you. Good job. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to give you hugs and kisses all over for your success here in our state. And go ahead.
It's the Lady Bombers girls softball team there. They did a USSSA event, and they went through the seeding process yesterday.
Yep.
And they were 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
They became the number 2 seed. Of course, the team they lost to, Florida Stealth, was the number 1 seed. So
off that victory, the last victory that they had over them.
Yes. And so the Bombers had to win 1 game to get into the championship round, and then they'd have to beat Florida Stealth 10 and under to get the championship. Now, by virtue of the fact that they made it to the finals, both of these teams will go to the North Florida State Championship.
That's
game.
correct.
That's coming up in the next week or so, I believe. But
like 8 days or 6, 7, 8
the
days.
The first game was in the rain.
Yep.
And they won 10-7.
Yep.
So they had to have a winner take all game.
Yep.
And they won that game 10-1.
Yep.
And my beloved girl, Lana, get that picture there.
Let's see if we can get
MVP.
There she is.
MVP of that game. And that was voted by the other team. So
Florida Stealth. Yep.
So mad love to the Lady Bombers and to Lana, your birthday twin.
We share the same birthday 20 years apart, you guys.
Yes.
So my cousin is also my birthday 20. So
and so cool. I'm gonna send an all points bulletin out to the Florida Gators. Keep an eye on her.
Y'all better pay attention.
Better have a scholarship ready for this
Y'all better pay attention.
Okay? I ain't lying.
Yep.
Okay? She's special. And she was hurt during that tourney also.
Yeah, but just like a Pujols, right? You know, just like a Pujols.
Never stops us.
Injury ain't never stopped nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And for the record, guys, if y'all didn't know, our family's filled with athletes. We actually, different walks of life. This one played football, ran track. Uncle Jerry played for Tech basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
Joey dabbles in everything. He launched a football. Mm-hmm. I've seen him play tennis, seen him play basketball, seen him do it all.
Yeah.
Myself, of course, included. I played football in middle school and a little bit in high school. So we all definitely are sports related and baseball stuff. We all play baseball. All of us, we get together and play baseball actually. So we all play baseball as well. And so just super proud of you 20, super proud, super supportive of, this next step for you guys to go to North Florida Championship and hopefully be able to take that one. We believe in you explicitly. We have all the support in the world for you guys, and just continue doing what you're doing. You make us very, very proud. We're very glad to see you and your squad doing so well, 20. So congratulations again on a well-fought two-win day today. And so proud of y'all.
Yeah, one more quick shout out.
Yeah.
I know we're running over and all, but we're having such a great time. I've mentioned this before, but I want to mention it again. We have a women's soccer league. It's a USL Super League,
mm-hmm.
and there's like 8 teams that compete against each other, and one of them is the Tampa Bay Sun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is our first women's soccer team here, and it's their inaugural season, and they're not doing too bad. In 9 games, 3 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws.
That's not bad at all.
Good enough to be right in the middle pack. They're number 4 spot right now in the USL Super League, and they recently beat Lexington SC yesterday,
mm-hmm.
3-1.
Mm-hmm.
So being a new team, and we're always looking for sports that can be of interest out to people, and women's You know, and we're glad for the girls, and we really hope for the best for them as they continue to move forward in their analysis.
Absolutely, and obviously again, inaugural season, so they just started playing soccer, guys. We'll do some more work on them, see if we can get some more information on upcoming games, when to expect to see them play, and how to watch them play, guys. So we can do about that, guys. But shout out to them, shout out to the Bay Sun. Super proud of you guys, and we look forward to being able to catch one of y'all games, hopefully coming up. Not next week, I think it is, right? No, you're good. You're good. Just an eyeball.
Quick eyeball. Just not bringing it up, and I apologize.
No, you're good, guys. I didn't originally plan on doing this, but
fumble at the goal line. Kyle Pitts.
That part. Okay, so actually, guys, for the record, that was the last game of the season for our team based on. They will return to action next year in April. So, guys, get ready for that. Come that time, we will make sure to have that information headed towards you guys, so that way we can put you on if you're interested, of course. But even more so than that, shout out to them, shout out to Tony again, and shout out to the wrestling team that were the clutch victories over the weekend. Hey, listen, thank you guys so much for joining us here on Palm Street Sports Radio. My name is Corey Pujols, and that is
Pop fellas.
Pop in the house. And as you guys can see, this is where I get my love for sports. We talk sports all week, every week. We watch sports together, whether we're together or at our respective homes and whatnot. But this is what we do. This is literally what we do. So I look forward to joining you guys next week on Palm Tree Sports. I look forward to having my old man back on here again next time as soon as possible.
Sooner than later, I hope.
Hopefully, whenever we get our schedules to line up, so that's what we're aiming for. But again, thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Palm Tree Sports Radio. It's been a true blessing to have you guys on here, and I look forward to speaking to you guys next week, same time, same place, Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, we'll get into, hopefully we'll have more positivity to talk about. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy your week. I really hope it's a fun, productive work week for you guys. For those of you going back to school, I hope you guys have a wonderful time at school, college and all that good stuff. So, guys, hug your loved ones.
Don't forget to vote.
Don't forget to vote, guys. Go vote. All right?
That's the biggest responsibility you have as an American.
As a free American, go vote. Go get your word out there. Go get your whatever it is that you believe in, and it voice be heard. Let your voice be heard, guys. Go out there and vote, play your part, do your thing, and may the chips fall where they fall. But in the meantime, between time, go do that, guys. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful, blessed week. And I look forward again to seeing you next week. Anytime, same place, guys. It's been Corey Pujols and
Fellas,
here on Palm Tree Sports Radio. Again, thank you for having us, and we will see you